Welcome to another edition of the Outpost. My name is Mike Hurt.
I'm Adam Alexander.
Yep, and we are ready to roll. We got a really good show for you. I'm really pleased with this one because we have the commanders for DAV Chapter 17 and Unit 17, Ray H. Fuller, Winnebago County, that are with us today. We have Rod Collada. Rod is the commander for the chapter, and then Julie Hurt is the commander for the unit. And so this is a great opportunity to pepper them with tons of questions about how the chapter and unit runs at the local level. So, but first off, I got to ask you, Rod, how did you get involved with DAV?
Well, I was became members of the different units and stuff like that. And other people I'd run across, and they say, "Well, we've got a DAV unit." At that time, I was out of the Marines for a couple of years. I hadn't even heard of the DAV, because I lived over in Ripon, and not a lot of people talk about it, and they just don't get around to it because some people just don't want to talk about having a disability or something of that nature.
Correct. Now, and just to share from a military standpoint, you served United States Marine Corps, Desert Storm veterans?
Yes, for 20 years, and then the other entertainment I had was the cruise in '85 that ended with the TWA hijacking.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and then, and ma'am, how did you get involved with the auxiliary?
I got involved with the auxiliary when my husband joined
He's a great
Chapter
guy,
17. He is a great guy. He is.
In small doses, right?
In small doses. Rumor has it.
Okay, we're married.
And so it just seemed to be like a natural progression that I get involved with the auxiliary. And so we got involved together.
Okay. Well, if we can get rolling on some of the pictures from behind the scenes, and we'll kind of run from there a little bit, see what they give us. There the two are. But I think, one of the things I think that's a good example, though, what we're seeing up on the screen, is how much a unit and chapter work together. Mm-hmm. And I've always felt, and I'm a little biased, but I really think Winnebago County, our group here, really sets the example across the state of the collaboration that goes on. I know that the role, now what is the role of the unit exactly, Ms. Julie?
So the role of the unit is to support the chapter in their fundraising efforts. So that first picture you saw was of a brat fry, and then the next picture you saw was of a presentation of a check, and we're also looking there at the Memorial Day procession. But the check there is because of the work that we do to support the chapter during their fundraising efforts. The chapter will give money back to us once a year to help our auxiliary do the work that we do, basically what our mission is, to assist veterans in the community. Our chapter and unit have always worked very well together and have always supported each other, and we're very grateful as a unit that we have that camaraderie between the two of us.
Okay. If we could pop up a next picture too, great photo with one of the, I believe that was
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Okay, next one if we could. Rod, this is something you wanted to talk a little bit as to, why we get involved with the veterans.
Well, this is kind of a thing, this is a picture, 3 stages of a Jeep. And if you're not a Jeep owner, you wouldn't recognize the symbolism. And I looked at it and I said, well, that's kind of like the veterans. If they're upright and stuff like that, they're going along good. But then in the middle, they're okay. They could just need someone to talk to, maybe a friendly hand to push them back over to being good. But being upside down, that's when they really need the help. And quite often, they get in that condition and they try to fake it, and only will speak to veterans or people who've gone through the same thing. But you got to get to them and help them before, like with a Jeep, before the headlights go out. Because that's when they really need the help to get back up to at least being okay or back to being good.
Good analogy.
Okay. So what... Now, I've always liked this photo because right there you have past chapter commander Fred Hamill has just sworn you in. Now, you've had kind of a couple of different roles. You've been the treasurer locally,
Treasurer
at the
locally.
chapter, and
The sergeant at arms and the junior commander for a while until they needed somebody as a treasurer. And then eventually I had both jobs as the junior commander and treasurer at the same time because we had people who left us who couldn't commit themselves to hours and stuff like that. So it came along after 7, 8 years. They wanted a commander, and I said, okay, well, I'll be doing most of my time training. That's what I did for the first 2 years as commanders. I was focused on training all the different people who were coming into their jobs or their different positions.
okay. So a great shot here. I'm trying to remember if that was when folks got sworn in. Remember
Yes,
offhand?
that's during an
Sorry.
installation.
Installation.
Yes.
So, but the other thing that shows you is this is an installation. That's a lot of people.
Yes.
But that tells you how big of a chapter, how big of a
Yes.
and the unit does their own thing,
On a good day, we'll have about 40 members showing up for our
Yeah.
meetings.
and that's a great sign. Hanging out with Daryl,
Yes.
good guy.
He's currently our new photo man, taking pictures
Yep.
of whatever he can at events. We used to have Sonny Ramager. He would do that as well until his obligations and family conditions prevented him from coming out.
Yeah, if there's a chapter event, things going on, he'll be there. Hey, this is a special picture for you, Rod, if Commander Rod, if you could fill us in a
Yes,
little
that's our Chapter of the Year award for the state of Wisconsin for our efforts throughout the entire year. It actually came as our third award within the last few years, and to my knowledge, it's been the only time we've received it. The last 5, 6 years, we've gotten it 3 times.
And a thing that I think is kind of cool too is when you think about it, I think it's like 41, 42 chapters across the state, and the very best one is right here in Winnebago
Yeah.
County. Cool.
It's always good competition.
Anything that's more chapter of the year? I think
Yes.
there's a little check went with that. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's a little cash check there. That's our new chapter flag, which expanded us from just the city of Oshkosh to the entire Winnebago County. Some more brat fries that I believe was up in.
Okay,
Menasha?
and Adam, you might want to run with this one a little bit as well, but we live in Wisconsin, and the minute that April time period hits, you'll see the people at the stores or whatever.
Football freezing, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are these brat fries about? What are the forget-me-nots about? Because I can remember before I got involved, I'd see these guys and gals at the front of the stores. And what is that about? Tell me, fill me in.
Well, that's,
for our viewers.
It's a little flower. It represents like a green clover. Each unit has their own little commemorative gift, and most people mistake it that they're buying those things. No, we're giving them out in receipt of any donation they give us. Somebody gives us a nickel, we'll give them that. They give us a good smile,
Yep.
Giving it
they'll
to
get that.
'em. Yep.
Especially out the little girls and boys and stuff like that.
Yep.
And get a little surprise for them and this kind of stuff. And it works out pretty good. The money goes to helping other veterans. Those funds come directly to us, and we set them off to the side to help people out in trouble each year and so forth. If they need house rent or something with their bills, medical conditions. We donated over $1,000 one time to move one family 3 doors down a hallway because the ex-husband insisted the 2 children needed their own bedrooms. And she wanted to save money and so forth, so we assisted them to move 3 doors down in that one building, that same building.
But I think what's a really neat example. So when you walk into that store and you see that group, with the forget-me-nots, and you're putting that $1, that $5 in there, whatever it may be, that is going directly to assist veterans.
Yes.
It's not going off to a slush fund or being used for other purposes. It is going to help veterans.
Yes, it's great when we have people like Adam and some other people who've passed away and people know them and within the community, and quite often their donations are a bit larger and stuff like that. That's because they've known some of these people for 30, 40 years, or in one case was their dentist for several years, or their parents' dentist.
Yeah.
He joined our unit, and he went out for a forget-me-not drive and received a considerable amount of donations that way.
I'm thinking, was it Doc Sunlightner?
Yes, Doc Sunlightner.
We had, and Doc was an icon in the veterans community, but I think it was on a Mother's Day. Did he like set a record? Well, one Doc knew everybody.
Yes.
in
Yeah.
town, but
Yes.
do you remember how? Did he get like 250 or 500 or something? It was some.
I know at least one or two people deposited $100 in his bucket at a time, $100 bills, and it was great.
Yeah.
You've done pretty well with the forget-me-nots, I know.
Yeah, especially when I wear an eye patch. For some reason, it's hard for people to walk by a guy with an eye
And
patch.
he tells his nice stories and stuff like that.
But what will the money go toward? You know, I'm thinking about even with some of the money that's brought in. A lot of people don't think, but like a good example is King.
Yes.
You know, we have veterans there that there's activities. And
All the nursing homes and some of the other clinics and hospitals and so forth, we send money out to assist them and to their individuals to operate, to assist people. In some cases, they're out in the northwest Wisconsin there,
Yep.
and that covers their transportation to go pick somebody up and bring them to a clinic,
Yep.
along with the vehicles, the DAV vehicles.
Let's pop through a couple more pictures. Get rolling here. Okay, good old Bradford. But the camaraderie, that's real
Yes.
key there.
Yes.
So, next.
Recognizing the
Yeah, well, I think we're recognizing somebody
yes.
there.
50-year.
Oh,
50
yeah,
years.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the 50-year members of the DAV.
Yeah, that
About
was kind of
6 of
neat.
them.
We with the large cake was purchased,
Yes.
and I couldn't believe how many members have been there. 45, 50 years, whatever it was. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, and looks like a good camaraderie here as
One of
far
our
as the
conventions,
chapter.
I believe, yes.
Yeah.
Another convention, there's some of our oldest members there. Lee Shuff in the wheelchair, Korea, Vietnam. And those are 50-year members within the chapter. Or no, that was
Yeah, that-
membership of the month.
Yeah, that was recognized.
Lord.
Job well done. This is kind of a one that was given out for job well done. Now this is a neat one that we did with Jersey Mike's
Yes.
because they were very kind to us.
And they catered one of our meals during installation or a party.
Right.
And
No
Yes.
charge. No
Yes.
charge.
Yep.
we came back and visited them.
This I just want to hang on this one real quick, but see, a lot of our viewers probably aren't even aware of it. Until I got into the veterans community, I had no idea. What's the Oshkosh Patriotic Council?
The Oshkosh Patriotic Council is members of all of the veterans groups within the community. Even members of the Sons of the Revolution were a part of the Oshkosh Patriotic Council. They help organize the Memorial Day events and some of the other events that occurred during the year and so forth. And each chapter, gives a membership donation of about to assist with all their funds, and they'll pick up speakers for different events and things of that nature. And we all meet together and plan 2-3 months ahead
Yep.
for all of these events.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point too. Is that so often when it comes to Veterans Day, especially Memorial Day, all of a sudden this procession happens.
Yes.
And it just doesn't happen. This is like 3 months of intense work and meetings and
Yes.
figure out and then coordinating among the units itself. Okay, I'm going to ask the question: are you ready?
We're meeting next month.
You are. And then, what is the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day? Is Memorial Day a parade?
No, it's a procession. Because there's no advertising involved. There's no
Yep.
outside groups and so
Yes.
forth.
Yep.
They're just veteran groups and so forth going through this procession. We'll have occasionally some marching bands and so forth come along from the communities to help honor the Memorial Day. and COVID and so forth has restricted their activities, and sometimes the extreme cold weather keeps them away. But we still have people who will walk the route.
Okay. This is, I think, a huge one. If both, I don't know, Commander Julie, if you're wanting to talk about this, because this to me is collaboration. This is what we do.
This is our backpack program for the homeless veterans. We work with the Day by Day Warming Shelter here in Oshkosh. This is, I believe, our fourth year, Ron,
Something like that.
doing this. And the chapter donates the money to put the items within the backpacks, the gloves, the hats, the mittens, and those types of things. And then the unit provides the money for the gift cards to Hardy's Restaurant. And then our national in Kentucky actually provides us with the backpacks every year that we use. So this was just a couple of weeks ago where we actually then went to the Day by Day Warming Shelter and presented them with these 15 backpacks. 5 of them are for females, and then 10 of them are for the male veterans. It's been a very rewarding program for us, in getting to build that relationship with the Day by Day Warming Shelter, and just knowing that we're making a difference in the lives of even the homeless veterans.
Yeah, I was surprised when after the donation, Molly sat and talked with our group, and actually, they're really following the stats with their population, and 20% of the homeless people served are veterans. That's 20% too many.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like, wow, and that for me was a real eye opener of, oh my goodness.
Yep.
And so I think, we have really, as they say, put your money where your mouth is, but we're right out there, and we're working. So what do we got next?
So this is a picture of me last year at state convention. We had the opportunity, as well as being the unit commander, I'm also the state commander for the auxiliary. And we have one day during joint session where we get the opportunity as the auxiliary to go up in front of the body and talk about our achievements for the year and the things that we're active and involved with. So this is the White Christmas exhibit. So we had a really unique opportunity this year to work with the Oshkosh Public Museum and to work with the White Christmas exhibit and Operation Waverly. That is myself in the picture there, Molly Butts from the Day by Day Warming Shelter, Tammy with the museum, and then Heather French Henry, who is a former Miss America. She's from Kentucky, and the White Christmas exhibit is hers. And part of that program is the Operation Waverly, where they request that a veterans group is involved with this program, which brings us up to the Operation Waverly. So we got involved. We were selected to help with the drive for the homeless veterans. So this was the first day of setup there, and I, as you can see, got to wear Miss America's crown for just a small moment, and that was kind of fun. And just being able to meet her and all the work she's done with veterans was an exciting day for us.
Yeah, she was a pretty cool person, because she actually, her father, Vietnam veteran,
and an uncle,
and
I
then
believe.
her uncle was a
homeless
homeless
veteran. Yep.
So that was, and she had a platform of working with veterans. It was really pretty neat. So it's wow. So
that exhibit's still going on, right? If people still want to go
Yep,
see it.
it is. Actually, it will be, they extended it because the popularity and attendance was so overwhelming that they actually extended it out until February 13th. So you still have time to go tour that exhibit and also pick up something and drop it off at the area that's up front when you enter the museum for homeless veterans as well. So we had the opportunity, as part of Operation Waverly, to do some separate programming during the actual event. 2 of them, one of them was letters from local servicemen. We were able to read letters that dated back to the late 1800s.
yeah, Civil War.
From Civil War veterans. And it was just it was a really neat experience to read these letters and to share these stories from the Civil War era. Very moving. Very, very moving.
Okay, but I got to jump on this one, guys. This was funny, though, as they had these letters, right? Civil War, Korea, all that. I think I got to read a Civil War letter.
Yeah.
But there was a letter between two brothers. Well, you know how two brothers can be. She got to read the letter between the two brothers. And it was very spicy. So,
And we decided not to edit it because
Yeah,
we
they
wanted to
didn't
get the true facts of that letter out. So it was quite entertaining to see.
yeah, it was fun because I'm sitting there going, oh boy, this is good.
It reminds me of the paper wall that they had down at EAA one year, where they had from letters from all the veterans and put them up on the walls and so forth.
Yep.
So that was, but I think there's a little bit more happened. So we had that. What else was? More stuff there. I think there's another one, my friend.
So then our final program was the 13 Folds. And for us, one of the programs and part of our mission is Americanism. And anytime we can get that opportunity to go out there and promote and educate. So we did a program just a couple of weeks ago called the 13 Folds of the Flag, where we actually, you'll see in this picture there, Patty Julius was the narrator, where she actually explained each fold of the flag and what it represents. We have 2 color guard members there, Holly Hoppy from Chapter 3 up in Green Bay, and Dwayne Cannon that's here with Chapter 17 in Oshkosh. And they folded the flag as Patty, of course, did the narration of the meeting. Very well attended, and again, just a very nice program.
Yeah, you know what hit me with that flag folding. I never knew until Patty went through what it all entailed.
Yeah.
It just, I was amazed with it. The other thing was the attendance.
Yeah, we had standing room only there that day for it, so it was very well attended. You did a great job getting that word out to people, and it was definitely worth attending. I think one of the neat things is not only do people give to the DAV and to the auxiliary to help us to give back to veterans in our community, but this is our way of giving back to the community and to our veterans is by doing these educational programs that we offer. So for us, it was kind of a neat way for us to give back to our community, for all the people that have supported us, and thanking our veterans as well.
What do you, the two of you, this is kind of neat. You work together as commanders. You work together with your membership. What have you found, I guess, Commander Rod, what has been the most rewarding for you?
Well, rewarding aspect of it is usually the husbands and wives are working as a team together. They help out a lot of people. Quite often, some people will stay away, or they won't join because their spouse won't join, something of that nature. And it helps with the communication barrier too. A lot of the auxiliary people, even the male auxiliaries, and the women veterans get to explain their side of the stories and stuff like that, which isn't shared very often. And a lot of people forget that there's 20+% females in the organization.
Yeah. I'm going to pitch this out because this is kind of the DAV edge to things. Do the guys go in one room and the gals go in the other when the unit and chapter meet?
We have our separate meetings and stuff like that. Occasionally we'll join together for joint meetings and presentations.
It's not because we have to, it's because we kind of choose to for noise sake.
But can you have, the thing I'm getting to is, can you have guys in an auxiliary?
We can. We have gentlemen in the auxiliary as well. We have female veterans that are in, so their husbands may join the auxiliary. DAV members can join the auxiliary. So currently our adjutant within our local unit is Tom. He's a male. So so there is no restrictions on male or female.
And his wife is the daughter of Lee Schuft.
Yes. Yep.
Well, I think that's important too, because the family members can also,
Yes.
be a part of that as well, and it's not locked in where,
Well,
the males going here and females.
it's like
there.
our state commander. He brings his 2 daughters along, and
Yep,
we
the
treat them
children.
kind of family, and they help out a little bit with our brat fries on some of their visits. We give them T-shirts, and just a big community that way.
Okay. Anything I'm missing, or you want to add to the mix on that one, or?
I don't know. I think it's great that we're doing these fundraising efforts, and as you said, that 100% of the proceeds go to veterans directly. We don't pay executive staff or anything like that.
No,
No.
we don't. All of our stuff is volunteer hours.
Well, and you bring up a good point too, because the one thing you'll find out with the DAV, there is no DAV hall or tavern or
No.
anything like that, and we're I always like to say we're nimble light fighters,
Yes.
and we'll rent a place to meet, but then that's why we're able to just funnel all that money right back in to the veterans. I did want to just mention one other thing. How are we good for time for a little bit? Okay. We are a 503c4.
Yep.
And that allows us, because one of the things we do is we lobby, you could say. We interact with legislators. And, what does that mean to you on that local level, that sense?
Well, that primarily allows a lot of companies to get certain tax breaks and so forth, giving straight to the chapters and so forth. But majority of them like to give out, products and so forth for events. If we have a special event, we'll auction it off and get cards or products and stuff like that for different events. Some of our people in the past have collected tons of things from different communities, the tavern leagues, other businesses, and we'll do special events and we'll raffle it off. And all that funds will go to our Forget-Me-Not Drive money, helping out other veterans and special occasions and things of that nature.
And one of the things too, from a legislative standpoint, is that we're engaged with elected officials. So, a good example is like when congressmen will have a town hall meeting. You can bet there'll be a faction from DAV will be there talking about those issues as well. Something we're all linked in is with the Commanders Action Network, and that's a real big thing where we get updates about different pending legislative priorities, and we're actively emailing those elected officials. So we have a big voice in Washington D.C. Adam, you yourself, you've testified at the state capitol representing our chapter. And so we're actively engaged with our elected officials to make sure that they're meeting the needs of those veterans out there. So it's a pretty actively engaged organization. Transportation. Did you want to tackle transportation network real quick? What it means locally?
I can.
We have about 30 seconds, so really fast.
Our vans and so forth stop here at the Perkins here in Oshkosh. To take people to different clinics in Milwaukee, Appleton, and the Green Bay, and those are part of the funds from our Forget-Me-Not drives. All the chapters donate to one big pile of money to get those vans, get drivers and so forth to take our veterans to their clinics, appointments if they can't drive themselves.
Well, thank you for joining us on the Outpost this month.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right.
We'll catch you later, everybody. Be good.